Not a Phase podcast where I will be talking all things Marvel. Today's episode, we're going to be looking at everything we know and some of the things that fans want from this film. So I'm going to issue right here, start of the video, potential spoiler warning in case any of these rumours or my own theory are close to correct, as well as the usual take everything with a grain of salt that hasn't been officially confirmed. The things that have been officially confirmed I will let you know about, but otherwise let's get into it.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukul Khan, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost their protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
Alright, so now that we sort of watched the trailer and we're all it's fresh in our minds how beautiful this film looks, let's get into the confirmed casting. I'm going to have a little slideshow come up here, and it'll just sort of play through the character posters, the official character posters. So these are all of the sort of main cast. So let's get into it. We've got Danai Gurira coming back as Okoye. We've got Lupita Nyong'o returning as War Dog Nakia. We've got Letitia Wright returning as Shuri. We've got Winston Duke coming back as M'Baku. Angela Bassett coming back as Queen Ramonda. Florence Kasumba coming back as Io. Dominic Thorne playing Ironheart. Riri Williams as her own Disney Plus series. Tenoch Huerta playing Namor the Submariner, potentially head of his own solo project. Mabel Cadena playing Namora. Michaela Cole playing Annika. Martin Freeman playing Everett K. Ross. And Alex Libanali playing Atuma. Also on this list would have been Daniel Kaluuya playing Wakabi. He was slated to return, but due to scheduling conflicts with Nope, he was unable to make filming, but was otherwise slated and had at one point confirmed himself to be returning for this film. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's been debunked as well. We're not really going to get into it too much. The only one I really sort of want to pick out is that at one point people thought Tenoch was actually going to be playing White Tiger, who is a Latino, Latinx character. So still would have sort of fit the aesthetic that they're going with for Namor, but at this point in time, not clear if White Tiger is actually going to make it into this film. Kind of hope that they do. I would really like to see White Tiger in this film. I've read some crazy rumors online as well. We'll get into it all. But yeah, if you want to have a look at all the confirmed, debunked, whatever stuff, I will leave the links in the description. The rumours for casting, the character Madam Slay is been thrown around a bunch. Madam Slay was a lover of Killmonger's in the comics who commanded leopards. Whether this was like a psychic link to the animals or just really good training was unclear in the comics. But that was Madam Slay. Storm, obviously, quite a significant character when you're looking at Black Panther T'Challa. They did have, for quite a while, a pretty solid marriage in the comics. That's kind of cool. Killjoy could potentially show up. The only name I've seen attached to that is Kendrick Lamar, which is an interesting choice. But Killjoy is a mercenary based in the fictional nation of Canaan, which is a bordering nation of Wakanda, and so therefore could add to some political pressure while they're being attacked by Namor. Akabe is another one. He was a revolutionary minister who at one point usurped the throne of Wakanda with help from Ramonda and Mephisto, who, if rumours are to be believed, is coming to the MCU and has been cast in Sacha Baron Cohen. A couple of other characters, Azari, T'Challa, and Storm's son from the animated next Avengers movie, who made some semi-canonical appearances in the comics, but has never otherwise been in the comics. So very interesting rumour there. Wave, a Filipino superhero with waterbending powers, basically, that later goes on to join the Agents of Atlas and Jimmy Woo's team in the comics. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Others in the list include King Cadaver, who literally was resurrected in one issue by Killmonger and died in the next. So he's not in the comics at all. It's really like Z-list character. American Panther worked with Hate-Monger in the comics, was sort of a dark parallel to Black Panther in the same way Hate-Monger is to Captain America. Nightshade, who I believe had something to do with like using herbs and poisons, was in the Luke Cage series, and before that casting would have been the character that was Killmonger's girlfriend in the first film. And then the Sons of the Serpent, who are a group of bigots and incels. And I have a sort of theory going that if they appear, they will appear as sort of part of the bridge that follows a plotline from this film into Captain America New World Order. Again, you can follow the link in the description for that. Story elements. We've got obviously Namor being the main antagonist, although Tenoch Huerta has said that his character is not the main villain of the film, leading me to believe that it may actually end up being Atuma who's the main villain, and that Namor will sort of only just in the nick of time realise the error of his ways and how he's been coerced by Atuma, and that he will, and then also at some point there will be a time jump. I've seen a bunch of different theories as to where that time jump is going to take place in the film, and they all end up sounding some level of believable, but again, they're all theories, so there is some level of them that's probably not accurate, unless someone from the writer's room has actually just released the plotline online. People are like, oh yeah, that might be it. Who knows? There's a whole lot more rumoured about the story than there is confirmed, such as Shuri becoming the next Black Panther, M'Baku becoming the next King of Wakanda, and then also joining the Dark Avengers, maybe. That Namor will end up becoming an Avenger or some other sort of heroic character after this film and get his own solo project, whether it's a series, a special, a movie, unclear. That Doctor Doom will turn up at some point, even if it's just a post-credits scene. There's I think the only other major one is that Shuri will create a synthetic heart-shaped herb in order to give herself the Black Panther powers. She'll go into the ancestral plane expecting to see T'Challa, but she'll see Killmonger as well. However, there's conflicting rumours and things being debunked as far as Killmonger making an appearance is concerned, largely due to the way things are worded. Some of them are like, he's not coming back as the new Black Panther, and others, like this rumour, like, yeah, no, Killmonger's just going to be hanging out in the ancestral plane, so he's not coming back as the next Black Panther, but he'll be reappearing in the film, just not in an alive status in the film. So we'll have to see. Because there is also a thing where I think it's in the production here. No, it's not. Maybe it was on the IMDb trivia list that this is going to be the first Ryan Coogler film not to have Michael B. Jordan in it, which, if he could have such a significant cameo story-wise for this film, it'd be kind of weird if he didn't. So, jury's out on that one. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Michael B. Jordan will be making an appearance or not? So, before I get into my theory, I'm going to read to you some of these leaks and stuff that I've seen, some of the industry insiders. Sorry about that little jump there. I had to get it up on my device here, and I knew I had it open on my phone that I'm currently filming on. So this one comes from a very trusted industry insider, Daniel RPK, on his Patreon, and like most things that he puts out, it eventually ends up on Reddit. Kind of the same as the 4chan leaks, although you always take those with not just like a grain of salt, but like a full tablespoon of it. Just, an almost unhealthy amount, because 4chan is literally the Wild West of trolls and memes, getting people's expectations out of whack. Anyway, it reads as such. A Wakanda Forever plot leak was posted 1 week ago. Now, I say 1 week ago. This was posted 93 days ago. So this is 100 days ago. Look at that. By Daniel IPK and his Patreon, although it's mostly a combination of most of the leaks that have come from more reliable sources, such as Charles Murphy. I did double check what this acronym was. MTTSH. I'm blanking on their name. That's not the app I want. MTTSH. Marvel. It's my time to shine. Hello. I had double checked that because I knew I was going to be doing this, but flew out of my brain. Casey Walsh, Great Phase, Lizzie Hill, Chipu. There's a whole bunch here. Interestingly, none from Roger Wardell, who has been kind of quiet as of late. So I'm wondering if that leaker has just decided to call it quits on the film leaks, because everything I had to put out was fairly accurate. So yeah. So it continues. Here I will make a true compilation of all the leaks we know about the movie in a more concise and readable manner. Everything that is not stated in RPK's leaks will be sourced, and then it reads the actual theory here reads as such. The film will open with a flashback sequence of the Spanish invasion and colonization of the Americas. We'll see an altercation between Namor's people and conquistadors. Namor's city will be called Tlalocan, but they will still make reference to it as Atlantis. Namor will be the son of a human and the queen of Atlantis / Tlalocan. The Aztec Jaguar god Tepeyotlin? Yes, will appear. Namor will wear a jaguar headdress at one point and will gain the ability to fly from the gods, although a recent rumor from a trusted and verified source of the r/Marvel Studios spoilers mods says that Namor is a mutant and that's why he has wings on his feet, just like in the comics. Then there's the time jump. In the present day, Riri Williams is a genius studying at MIT and has developed a device to find vibranium in the ocean. Lake Bell's character, who will be an original character by the name of Dr. Graham. Lake Bell also voiced Black Widow in What If, so that's her working relationship with Marvel already. But she will use the device, and somehow that will awaken Namor, who gets mad and kills Graham's team. He asks Wakanda for help to kill Riri next, but Wakanda refuses and protects Riri inside their borders. When Namor first appears in Wakanda, he looks more like this. We're getting an image. Look more like that, rather than having the headdress on. I'm pretty sure that's the scene where we see him walking up out of the water from the lake in Wakanda, which I'm pretty sure, because it's Tlalocan, which is actually one of the Aztec underworlds, specifically for drowning. I think the MCU is saying that they can access any place on Earth through any body of water large enough to drown in. So they could literally pop up in any river, lake, pond, dam, ocean, whatever. They can pop up anywhere. I wonder if this extends to like people's backyard pools, because that could make like running through the streets really interesting. Like you think you got rid of them all, and all of a sudden, just out of some random's backyard, there's a tumor. That could be kind of cool. Anyway, back to the leak. So when Namor first appears in Wakanda, he'll look like that, and it'll be during T'Challa's funeral scene that Namor will make his entrance in Wakanda. Riri's role and screen time in the film is comparable to America Chavez in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Her first suit's made out of spare car parts, but eventually she gets a vibranium suit in Wakanda. She's the linchpin / plot device and basically the reason the story happens, exactly like America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness. So we've got another villain chasing another young Avenger being protected by another Avenger film. This one's just not taking place across multiple universes. In Wakanda, Shuri has created the heart-shaped herb in a lab, as she said she would in the Wakanda Files official MCU tie-in book. So already evidence that everything connected to the MCU is canon. I don't have this particular book, so I can't show you what page it's on. But now I need to go out and get a book as well to watch the movies. And I understand that might put people off. But otherwise, I'm sure it'll be explained in the film and make, not having the book not as necessary. But she will not be the only Black Panther. Some of the Dora Milaje will have their own special enhanced suits, with Okoye actually suiting up as a Black Panther as well, alongside Shuri Okoye. It says Okoye will be in a same-sex relationship, probably with the already cast LGBT Dora from the comics, Annika, played by Michaela Cole. Io. It will be Io, because in the comics, Annika and Io are in a relationship that is in this series. It has 6 issues. Here they are. That series. World of Wakanda. It is actually what I think the as yet unnamed Wakanda Okoye series might be. It'll be like a Dora Milaje one, focusing on Okoye having to be the leader of the Dora Milaje, the King's Guard, while there's no king. Meanwhile, we've got 2 Dora members in a same-sex relationship that kind of are over being King's Guards, and they'll go on to become the Midnight Angels. Once Shuri takes the herb, she'll expect to see T'Challa in the Ancestral Plane, but she'll see Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, who helps her become the new Black Panther, Atuma, an exiled Atlantean who wants to become King of Atlantis, and Namora, Namor's cousin, will also appear in the film, and Atuma will fight with Okoye at some point. There's a huge war between Atlantis and Wakanda, where Wakanda is flooded, and Shuri and T'Challa's mother, Queen Ramonda, dies in the flood. Eventually, Shuri defeats Namor, but doesn't kill him. In the end, M'Baku becomes the new king, and most sources believe that he will also become the definitive Black Panther, which was changed last minute due to Letitia Wright's anti-vax views causing problems in the production. RPK says that M'Baku does become king, but Shuri continues to be the Black Panther. So either one of those is a possible outcome. It could just be Shuri all the way. It could be neither of them. Maybe as per Queen Ramonda's request in the first film, Nakia will become the Black Panther. If you remember, she told Nakia to take the herb right before the Jabari tribe took them to T'Challa's body. So yeah. At the end, Nakia will reveal to Shuri that she has a child with T'Challa. Marvel plans for him to eventually take over the Black Panther mantle once that character is old enough to. The post-credit scene shows Doctor Doom in costume with a stand-in currently playing him. And it's revealed that it was him who had orchestrated the Wakanda v Tlalocan war all along. A rumor from a while ago also has it that it's rumor from a while ago that has been deleted now, so source unknown, take it with a huge grain of salt, is that Lake Bell's character is secretly Lucia von Bardus, Doom's right hand from the comic, which could explain how Doom orchestrated it all. And it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for that to be like a twist reveal, like, yeah, no, going undercover as Dr. Graham worked perfectly. There's also a rumour, I like this rumour, that the Savage Land is introduced in the second post-credits scene, where Riri finds vibranium in a previously uncharted region of Antarctica. Charles Murphy also revealed that Val might appear in the movie, and Great Phase had teased Kazar for the Thunderbolts when the movie was confirmed by the trades. So the Savage Land tease could indeed be possible. My theory that I had written before I wrote that, and it's sitting here so I can read it to you, had a lot in common with that, and some key differences, I think. Let me know what you think. So I've also got flashback of the sinking of Atlantis, potentially due to the vibranium meteor. There's a rumour out there that, and I don't know how accurate this is, that Denzel Washington will be playing Bashenga in this film. If you remember correctly, Bashenga is the original Black Panther. He's the one that Bast led to the heart-shaped herb. So that's there. But due to Wakanda not offering the Tlalocanians aid while their cities sinking into the ocean, that'll set up the animosity between them. We'll then get the time jump, kind of like we do in that other theory, but mine doesn't immediately jump to Riri Williams. Mine instead jumps to the ship raid where the Dora Milaje have to protect Wakandan assets. This is the one in the trailer where we see the soldiers with guns, not the boat raid where they're fighting off Atlanteans. I believe that those are two different times. That'll then jump to the UN proceedings where Ramonda, is telling them that, from what we've seen in the trailers, she yells at them quite emotionally, and then we have another shot where a bunch of people are just putting their mics down and refusing to speak. I believe that's, we're going to jump and see that right at the beginning there. They'll then go back to Wakanda, they'll have the funeral rites and the memorials for T'Challa. They'll get interrupted by Namor, exactly the same as that one had. And that'll be the flooding. We will have a Black Panther appear in this fight, but it will be unclear at this particular point in time who's wearing the suit, mainly because at this point in time I don't know if we'll actually have seen anyone else take the heart-shaped herb yet. I think it'll be kind of I need to take this because I need to defend my home. That'll be sort of a later thing. So this could be Okoye or Nakia wearing it, since they've both already got combat experience and training, one being a Dora Milaje, one being a Hatat Zarazi. So either one could be kind of cool for that particular scene. And we'll still get Shuri fighting, but she'll be using her hand gauntlets or whatever from the first film, because she'll sort of be caught off guard, mourning her brother. That'll then cause them to withdraw back to the mountain tribe, the Jabari Mountains, where M'Baku will tell them what he knows of their shared history. This is the bit where he tells them that the Atlanteans call him Kukulkan, I believe he will know this because he, being the leader of the Jabari, will also have been at the memorial service, and therefore that's why we see him fighting on the shores of the lake in the Golden City in the trailer. Big sort of where he jumps off the boat with his stick. But then once the city gets flooded, he'll take them all back up to the mountains to higher ground so they can recollect themselves and make a plan. That'll be when Shuri then improves Riri's suit to the vibranium suit that she'll get. That's when she'll also make her own Black Panther suit, or don her own Black Panther suit, as well as that'll be where she takes the heart-shaped herb. And I believe that her suit is the one we see sort of dropping out of that hole in the sky or whatever, and she falls down, because if you pause right when she lands, you can see that there's snow and trees behind her, which is very much the Jabari mountain range, and there's just a random extra in the background wearing the Jabari fur coat in the background as well. So that's definitely in the mountains. And the face paint also looks a lot like Shuri's from the first film. Meanwhile, troubled by his actions, Namor will confront Atuma, who will then stage his little coup and lead the Pelicanian army, who, let's not forget, has generational grudge against Wakanda, so they'll be all too happy to just follow this madman into battle, and that'll then force Namor and the Wakandans into this uneasy alliance to stop him, making him the big bad. M'Baku will then become the king of Wakanda, reuniting the Jabari tribe with the rest of Wakandan society, since the very first thing we learn in the very first film is that when Wakanda united, the Jabari tribe were like, peace. In this, having seen that they're without leadership and he's already in a position of leadership, as well as no one else challenged T'Challa for the mantle of king to begin with, other than Killmonger, and he died. Kind of seems like a natural fit to me. So he'll take on the role of King of Wakanda, but Shuri will ultimately be named the new Black Panther, much like she is in the comics. Nakia will then introduce Shuri to her baby with T'Challa, which is obviously Shuri's nephew. It will be named Azari, and I think later on, if they decide to give Azari his powers that he has from the comics and the animated film that he appeared in, debuted in, that'll be explained as his own personal mutant ability, really sort of showing that, like, hey, yeah, no, even, like, T'Challa's heir is a mutant, so we can't really judge this other mutant too harshly, because it could literally happen to anybody. But no, there'll be Azari, Annika and Io will be in a relationship, not Okoye and Annika, and they will end up becoming the Midnight Angels if that story is not saved for a Disney Plus series. That series does only have 6 issues, and it involves a White Tiger, so if they wanted to introduce White Tiger in the series and not in the movie, they have that possibility as well. And then my ideas for the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene, one will be Val trying to get the I think the sort of sidebar here, I know that the Sokovia Accords have been repealed as of She-Hulk, it's confirmed, but I think it'd be really interesting if they were repealed so they can be updated to include younger heroes who aren't necessarily affiliated with the Avengers, as well as for mutants like Kamala and Namor. And so Val might have some sort of knowledge of that, and she'll therefore be asking the UN for permission to form her own sanctioned Avengers group, the Thunderbolts. And since Bucky is in the Thunderbolts lineup, and he is the White Wolf, the Kingsguard of Wakanda, that kind of feels like we might get Bucky in the film too, just sort of helping out on the sidelines a little bit. That'll be sort of our mid-credit scene, and then our post-credit scene will be the Doctor Doom one, where it's revealed that he was the one starting the war. It could have been because he wants to gain the vibranium from both places. It could be, I mean, if the other rumor is true and Riri's found a way of, like, you know, metal detecting specifically vibranium, maybe that's a bit of tech that that Doom wants to get his hands on, so that he can go around and just create all his Doombots and his suit out of vibranium. But I would also personally like my theory that Latveria is just a rebuilt Sokovia. I'd like that confirmed, because the castle from Age of Ultron already having the robotics in its basement. There's your Doombots, easy enough. A smart guy like Doom with his science and his magic could easily make the Ultron AI compliant for his Doombots, and then just with all of his wealth, he could rebuild the city that was dropped out of the sky as Doomstart. Boom, you have Latveria. So that'll be interesting. And if that's the case, it therefore means that Doctor Doom might be in charge of whatever group of villains Baron Zemo will end up setting up. They could be working together, so that could be kind of cool. A Baron and a monarch, essentially. And then if one of those doesn't happen and White Tiger is in this film, post-credit or not, a scene of him leaving his Jade Amulet for either Angela Del Toro or Eva Ayala, a variation of the character, as a future Young Avengers member, could be kind of cool. But yeah, I think when you sort of compare them, they're pretty similar. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know, what do you think in the comments below? Which of the two? I'm going to leave mine written as is in the description. That's what it's called. And I will leave a link to the Reddit one as well, so you can go and have a look at that. Compare the pair if you want, and let me know in the comments which one of those do you think is more accurate. I will be coming back to my theory after I've seen the film in a month's time, and sort of seeing how much I got right, and where I was sort of pleasantly surprised. We'll full review of not just Wakanda Forever next month, but of the entire Phase 4. But that is all I've got for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever it is on your device. And while you're there, please go ahead and ring that bell. Turn on those push notifications so you can stay up to date with when I upload new videos. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.